Remember a little while back when I said this channel has a long history of taking things apart and not putting them back together? Well, guess what? Nothing's really changed. Welcome to episode 2 of the 1-month Barnfind GTV build. There are exactly 31 days until deadline starting right now. My goal for today is to get the powertrain, the engine, gearbox, and the prop shaft out of this car. And tomorrow morning I'm going to get around to doing everything else: suspension, brakes, steering, plumbing, electrical, the rest will all come out. Back in December I did a video about pulling the engine out of my Sprint GT, which went horribly wrong and I spilled oil everywhere. Hopefully this time that mistake won't be repeated. So first things first, I think I'll drain the oil. I'm a couple of days into this, and it's taking its time, to be honest. Stripping a car is something I really hate doing, but I do it a lot. Well, it seems so. I really hate stripping cars apart. It's something that I find really unpleasant because everything's dirty and rusty and covered in filth, and everything's difficult, and you're finding bolts that are seized. Like, I had to cut out the top suspension control arm bolt on the driver's side of this car because it was just completely seized up. The bolt had pretty much become one with the inner sleeve of that bushing, and the only way to get it out without damaging anything, and this is what I learned on the Sprint, was that the best way to do it is to take a reciprocating saw and cut through that bolt on both sides and pull it out from the wheel well. And that takes like a ton of time, and I had to actually go and buy a reciprocating saw to do that. And so yeah, things have been kind of slow coming apart, but I'm trying to be as careful as I can with not wrecking things, really. That's what it's about. The engine came out pretty easily. I didn't really have I didn't get the car in the ideal position. Usually you should lift up the back of the car and to give you the ultimate clearance to get it out. But I just kind of pulled the engine out with it sitting on the lift. And it came out pretty easily. I forgot to undo the earth strap from the gearbox to the body, so that hung me up a little bit. And just getting the engine mounting bolts undone was pretty tricky because the engine mountings in this car were kind of collapsing. They collapsed on top of the bolts that hold them in. So it took a while to undo all of that. But I got it out with relatively little trouble. I did scratch the front of the car, which is a pity because the paint on this car is so good. Yeah, just about the only things I have left now is the steering box and the rear suspension, the head lining, and some hydraulic lines are left. That's all, and the fuel line. And the wiring loom is still kind of in the car. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last day of this assembly, and it's been a couple of days now. It's been a long haul to pull it all apart. I'm trying to do this all in one episode because I hate it so much, and I don't really want to do more episodes about disassembling cars. I know the thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, all you do on this channel is disassemble stuff. And it's like, yeah. Sometimes you have to disassemble things to get them to the point where you can actually start making them better. Hopefully this will be the second last time I ever have to disassemble a car on this channel because the Giulia still needs to be done. Anyway, enough chat. I'm going to get back to the final things in this car that need to be done. So there we have it. The GTV is now apart. I've once again taken something apart and I'm never going to put it back together again. Kidding. This is something that I really hate doing when it comes to restoring vintage cars, is that you do have to take cars apart to this point in order to get them back to where you'd want them. Even though this is a rat rod build and it's not going to be that extensive, still this is the only way to do a classic car properly if it was in this kind of shape. Like you never know what's actually lurking in that suspension stuff until you pull it apart, so it has to be done. What's great is now the car is as stripped apart as is possible to get it. So from here on, it's only up. There's going to be no more disassembling old stuff, which seems to be what this channel has been all about for the last year or so. I'm now excited to get into building cars instead of just disassembling stuff. So tomorrow things are going to continue, and at least this is now done. I would like to say that this channel's history of taking things apart and not putting them back together ends now. Yeah, thanks for watching this episode, and keep checking back. There'll be loads more. Cheers guys, I'll see you in the next episode.